Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Go check out my website at skysworld.com for life coaching and mentoring. I'm in the office paying some bills. It's never fun. So let's talk about a fun topic. Let's talk about UFOs. My brother was asking me this weekend when I was over his house chilling, he asked me, so what's the latest UFO stuff? Because he knows I keep up on all the conspiracies. Oh, I have been looking into conspiracies long before Alex Jones. In fact, when Alex Jones first came out, we're talking more than 20 years ago, when he first came out and hit the scene, people were looking at me like, you idiot, because I missed the boat. I could have done that exact same thing. We watched Alex Jones get famous. I could have been the conspiracy guy, yelling and screaming, pounding his fist, crying. Isn't it funny? If you ever watch Alex Jones, he'll scream and yell, and then he'll start crying. I'm not sure if I could do that on cue. I'll have to practice. But I know about conspiracy shit, and I love the alien conversation. I've been looking into UFOs, and I watch all the documentaries and all the videos. I watch it all. When I have downtime and I'm scrolling through YouTube, sure, I go through the Jordan Peterson stuff and David Goggins and try to get my motivation, but I'm also checking out them aliens, man, looking at UFOs. So let's talk about some UFO shit. What's the latest? That's what my brother wanted to know. What's the latest? Well, what I find fascinating recently in the UFO world are the two congressional hearings. So let's talk about those. The first one was the federal government, the Pentagon officials, military officials, being questioned by Congress about two videos in particular, the Tic Tac video and the gimbal video, which you can go look up. They're not as exciting as you may want them to be. I'm not trying to ruin them for you, but they are legitimate UFOs, meaning that we don't know what they are. They're not as exciting as you want them to be, because what we want them to be is flying saucers with aliens waving out the windows or something like that. So they brought these military officials, Pentagon guys, up on Congress and drilled them with a bunch of questions. They gave no real answers at all. It was very anticlimactic. You got really no information other than an acknowledgement, which is groundbreaking, but an acknowledgement for the first time ever that those videos are not ours, and we don't think they're the enemies. We don't know who they are. We don't know what it is. But we really didn't get much other than that. And oh, and they said that they were going to look into it. Yeah, we found UFOs, we don't know what they are, and we'll look into it. So that was the first congressional hearing. Since then, they have started NASA has started a task force to look into UFOs, and NASA said they're going to have full disclosure. A big eye roll on that. I doubt NASA is going to have full disclosure, but who knows? So that's the federal government side of this. Now, the second congressional hearing is more interesting. The second congressional hearing happened because of this guy, David Grush. And the videos, the Tic Tac video and the gimbal video. So the second congressional hearing, the panelists were the three people. Two pilots that were involved in the two UFO videos. They were actually pilots that were taking the video, and they've seen UFOs with their own eyes. And then the third guy was this guy, David Grush, who you should go look into. And he's a so-called, in quotes, ex-intelligence agent. I don't doubt that he was an intelligence agent. That's legit. You can look into that. And he was a very high-level guy in the intel world with like the top clearance. What I put into quotation marks is the fact that he's a former intelligence agent. I don't know if he's I think he's still working for him, but who knows? But he says that he has quit, and the government, isn't paying him anymore. You can look into that. The government's payroll is, you can look into that. He's not working for the government anymore. He left. And he says he left because of the information that he has. So he doesn't really actually, when a whistleblower comes out, typically they'll have some actual evidence. A disc with something on it, and they're like, I had to smuggle this up my butt, but yeah, here it is. This is the evidence. This is what's going on. No, it's just a bunch of hearsay. And he says that government has had a UFO program for many decades, that we have spacecraft that we've found, but also spacecraft that the aliens have given us, that we have a relationship with an alien, at least one alien group of aliens from another planet. And he makes these wild claims like that. You can go look into him. His claims are just beyond belief. And the stuff that he's saying will completely destroy science, completely destroy physics, completely destroy religion, completely destroy all of world history, if any of it's true. He has no evidence for any of it. So the second congressional hearing was interesting just because of that, because these people who are supposedly pretty reputable, the three of them together, the two pilots and this David Grush guy who I'm suspicious of, the stuff that they were saying was wild. Now let's talk about the pilots, because these guys, I personally believe what they say. I'm not there with them in the plane to verify it, but when I watch the congressional hearings, and you can find interviews with these guys on Joe Rogan, they come across as really believable. And all they are is just military guys. They're pilots, highly decorated, been on many, many, many missions. These guys are the best pilots that we have. And they're not claiming that it's aliens. All they know is that they saw something that definitely isn't ours, and it can't be the Russians or the Chinese. They study what the enemy has. We're more than just one step ahead of the enemy. It's not going to come out that the Chinese or the Russians are generations ahead of us with any kind of military technology. If we go to war with them today, we will destroy them 100 times over. Trust me on this. You can't compare it to Iraq and Afghanistan. Shut up with that bullshit, because I know that's what some of you motherfuckers want to talk about. How come Afghanistan took 20 years? Because we didn't let our guys really blow that place up. We could have destroyed it in 5 minutes, literally. Glass parking lot. Create a fucking Disneyland there. But we weren't allowed to do that. These guys say that they've been seeing these translucent spheres with black cubes inside of them, and the black cube, the points of the cube, edges of it, meet the edge of the sphere, and they fly around. They see them every time they go up and fly. They can drop in and out of space and come down to the level of the water within a second over the ocean. They can dive into the ocean without creating a splash, come back out, zip away. The one pilot says that he saw red cubes, and the red cubes flew over land, and the red cube was like the size of a football field. They saw more than one, and it zips away in a flash of an eye. So that stuff is wacky. I believe these pilots. I support the military, and I can look in these guys' eyes. I know a hustler. You can't out-con a con. You can't out-fox a fox. These guys are legit. They're not lying. I can tell. So there's something out there, man. There's something out there. Who the fuck knows what it is? But that's the latest. Food for thought.